Hi there. Hope you have a fantastic day today. This lesson, I'm going to teach you semicircles. So let's go straight into it. So let's say we have a circle like this with the radius of r. So let me just write this down. So this is r and this is r, negative r, negative r. So the radius is r and the center we know that is 0, 0. So in general, the equation of a circle is x squared plus y squared is equal to r squared. So the center is 0, 0 and the radius is r. So let me just rearrange the equations. So I move the x squared on this side. So this becomes y squared is equal to r squared minus x squared. Because it's x squared, we move on the other side, becomes negative. So if I square root of both sides, so I square root both sides, so square root of y squared, which give me y, and square root of that. Remember, every time we square root a number, we need to have a positive and a negative. So we have plus or minus, I just write this down, square minus x squared and square root of that. There you go. So a circle can be written as y is equal to plus or minus square root of r squared minus x squared. So this means that y is equal to r squared plus minus x squared square root of that, or r is equal to negative, let me write this down, r squared minus x squared square root of that. This means that this one here is the positive. So this is y is equal to r squared minus x squared and square root of that. And the bottom one, so this one here is y is equal to negative r squared minus x squared. Of course, square root of that. There you go. So we have two parts. The first part is positive, so square root of r squared minus x squared. And the bottom part is y is equal to negative square root of r squared minus x squared. So in another word, so this one here is y is equal to r squared minus x squared square root. So this is above the x-axis. So this is r, negative r is r. So the center of this semicircle is 0, 0 and the radius is r, okay? Now the bottom half, of course, I just write negative r here, r and negative r because the radius is r. And the equation for this is y is equal to negative r squared minus x squared square root of that. So this is it for a semicircle, okay? Please take note on this. So let's go through examples. So for each of these semicircle below, we need to find the length of the radius and the center of the semicircle, and then we sketch a graph, okay? So let's do first one first. So we have y is equal to square root of 64 minus x squared. So if you recognize this, so we know that the radius is square root of 64, which is 8, and the center is 0, 0. Otherwise, you can square both sides, rearrange, and you notice that it is a circle. For example, I can square both sides if you cannot recognize, okay? So square, and then square of square root is cancel out, it becomes 64 minus x squared. Then I just move the x squared on that side, so that becomes x squared plus y squared equals 64. And the center is 0, 0, and the radius of the circle is 8, right? But then it's not a circle, it's semicircle because square root, and it's positive, so therefore the top half, right? That's the top half of the circle. So let me just label it. So this is y, this x. And we know that the center of this semicircle is 0, 0, and the radius is square root of 64, which is 8. Otherwise, we recognize from this equation here, okay? So now, I just draw it, and then because of square root positive, so it's the top half. So don't forget, okay? So I just quickly draw it. So I just might note on this and this. And this is 8, negative 8, and 8. There you go. So this is y is equal to square root of 64 minus x squared. Second one. So y is equal to negative square root of 7 minus x squared. So we know that the center of this semicircle is 0, 0, and the radius is square root of 7. And it's negative, so the bottom half of the semicircle. In another word, the graph will be below the x-axis. Now, if you cannot remember this is a semicircle, so what you do, you square both sides. Okay, if I square both sides, so that will give me y squared is equal to, you square root of a negative number, you give you a positive. And then we square a square root is cancel out. So that becomes 7 minus x squared. Then if I move this out on this side, so x squared plus y squared equal to 7. This is a circle with the center of 0, 0, and the radius is square root of 7. But then because it's square root, so therefore it's a semicircle, half of circle. So with the radius of square root of 7. So just write this down. Center 0, 0, and the radius is square root of 7. There you go. So let me just sketch it. And I just label this is part A. Then part B, which is graphs it. So now what we do is the square root of 7 is the radius. So just roughly, I just put here and here, negative square root of 7. Square root of 7, and this is negative square root of 7. So now we just join these points together. There you go. So this is the semicircle of y is equal to negative square root of 7 minus x squared. Now, please pause the video and try this one yourself. Hi, I'm back. How did you go? So let me go through it with you, okay? So first of all, so we know that the center of the semicircle is 0, 0. And the radius is square root of 36, which is 6. Again, just in case if you forget to recognize it is a semicircle, so we can do square both sides, right? So if I square both sides, so let me just label part A here, and square both sides, that means y squared is equal to 36 minus x squared. And I move the negative x squared on this side, so this becomes positive. So become x squared plus y squared is equal to 36. And this is a circle with the radius of 6 and the center is 0, 0. So I can just write this down. The center is 0, 0 and the radius is equal to 6 because x squared plus y squared is equal to r squared. With the center 0, 0, the radius is r. Okay, please take note on this. Then now for part B, because of square root, so therefore it's not a circle, it's a semicircle and it's positive. So therefore, it's above the x-axis, okay? So let me label this. This is y, this is x. And the center is 0, 0, and the radius is 6. I just write this negative 6 here. This is 6, this is 6. And the graph is this. There you go. So this is y is equal to square root of 36 minus x squared. Now, please pause the video and try this one yourself. Hi, I'm back. How do you go? So let me go through them with you, okay? So first one, we know that it is above the x-axis. So therefore, it's positive, right? And the center, let me write it down. The center of this is 0, 0. And the radius is 4. So therefore, the equation for this is y is equal to r squared, which is 16 because 4 squared is 16, and minus x squared and square root of that. There you go. This is a semicircle. Second one. So we know this is below the x-axis. So therefore, the equation must be negative. So we know that the center is 0, 0. And the radius is 2. So therefore, y is equal to negative r squared, which is 2 squared, which is 4. And then minus x squared. Of course, we square root of this. There you go. So this is semicircle, that is below the x-axis. Now third one. So again, it's below the x-axis. So therefore, the equation should be negative. And the center of this is 0, 0. And the radius is 5. So therefore, we have y is equal to negative r squared, which is 5 squared, 25, minus x squared. And we square root of that, of course. So this is the semicircle. And last one. So we have the radius is square root 2. So r is equal to square root 2. So therefore, r squared must equal to square of a square root. You cancel out. So which is 2. Otherwise, just use your calculator. Square of square root 2. And then the center is 0, 0. So therefore, y is equal to negative. Let me write down r squared first, which is 2 minus x squared. And square root of this. There you go. I hope you got all of them correct. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.